before we start, Christian was talking about apologies. I just got a couple of apologies I want to get out real quick. First,
Still
I want to,
recording?
Yep.
yeah, no, we
Yes.
record,
Okay.
record. Yeah, we're good. First, I want to apologize to Lou, for the bull sneak dissing. You know, as a Knicks fan, I get a lot of pressure from fellow Knicks fans to come at you as a Bulls fan, but forgive me for that misstep, okay? And as for you, Hans, you know, let me ask you, how many on this podcast think that Hans is the greatest podcaster to touch the microphone? Um, I felt terrible since coming at you about Jalen
He's
Brunson
good.
having a better career than Dame this season. I mean, yeah, better season than Dame, which he clearly is. But I've been conflicted about that and the Heat ever since then. So if you feel you need to take a shot at me, Hans, I got my chin out for you to take your best shot, all right? And I'm gonna let you get it. That's all I got.
So this is what
What
we
kind
on
of
this
what kind
podcast.
of shot to
This
the
this
chin?
is gonna it's gonna be this
What
type
kind
of
of shot to the
episode.
Yeah.
chin? Are you talking
It's gonna
about?
be this type of
Yeah.
episode. That's fine. I'm built
Yeah.
for it. I'm built for it.
Nah, I mean, if we know, that's what. Listen here, look, I know your name isn't Jermaine, but
I'm built for it.
uh,
Let's get
I
this
I I,
podcast
pre-
started.
I
So I
appreciate
Just
you
want the
had to
coming.
people
get
to
my
hear.
just had to
So
get my
Okay,
Christian
mental in
doesn't
the
edit
right
nothing
place,
out.
you know. Just had to get my
Y-
mental in the
you
right
know what I'm saying?
place.
Look. You know, as a Bulls fan, we appreciate the apology, but we had to settle it on the court.
I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
Welcome to the Welcome to the 3 on 3 podcast. I'm your guy Hans here with my main man Ev. What's going on, Ev? How you feeling, man?
If I were any better, it would be illegal.
Yes, sir. With my other main man here, Lou. What did it do, Lou?
How do we block Evan from being on the show? Peace, love, and harmony, guys. You already know what time it is.
Yes, sir. And we have the Pod Mamba who's in the background, making sure we're on point, et cetera, et cetera. Look, I'm gonna get right into it. All right. First and foremost, I want to start off by letting the people know why my voice has this tone, this intonation of disdain to it, is because I've taken a couple of L's this week on multiple fronts. And one of them being the Pod Mamba. He won. I know you'll see more of that clip on OT, but he did win our fantasy league. You know, he paid his dues. He gave his money to who he needed to get that victory. But a win is a win. So congratulations, Pod Mamba. Enjoy your week of victory. Enjoy it. And I can't stand Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray. You guys are dead to me. All right. Yes, sir. F.
From one fantasy sports champion to another, Pod Mamba, congratulations, sir. Well deserved. Well deserved. Okay, you can continue.
Yeah, get it off your
Wow.
chest. Get it off your chest. All right. Continuing on to events that are just out of this world. The Lakers, they've been surging. They've been playing well. Compared to other teams in the play-in section, they hold the best record, 8-2 in their last 10. They had us, and by us I mean Pod Mamba, thinking and hoping that they were going to surge to maybe 6th, 5th seed. But what's happening is that they're not the only ones surging. But we cannot deny that the Lakers are the Lakers. They hold LeBron, they hold AD, formidable players, best top 5 in their positions in the league. So we expect a lot out of them. But it still begs the question, should they be in the play-in? Will they survive the play-in? And should we worry? Now, compared to last week, there has been some shifts and changes. New Orleans has gone down to the play-in now and is a play-in team. So that changes dynamics and matchups as well. And Sacramento is right there on top of the Lakers as we're recording in the play-in as well. So the whole playing dynamic has shifted. But yet and still, what remains constant, I guess we can say, guys, is that Golden State and the Lakers have been at the bottom of the play-in, regardless of the surging that has happened, which is wild. Which is wild. I want to start with you, Ev. What are your thoughts? Well, are you of the mindset that the Lakers, with what I'm not sure how many games they have left, 5, 6,
Three.
3.
Two by the
Are
time
you
you hear this.
right? Are you of the mindset that with the 3 games that they have left, that they will actually be able to make a move up to the 7th seed so they don't have to play twice? Do you think that's possible? Do you think that's something they're striving for? Or should they just resign and just say, hey, we're going to ninth it up and dog it out at the bottom?
So I'll start by saying that for them to have one of the better records since the All-Star break, 8-2 in their last 10, 9-2 in their last 11, looking like a much better team than they were the first half of the season, outside of the uh, in-season tournament games. They look almost like a different team. They are up to 15th in defensive rating. I think some injuries have actually helped them out from the standpoint of getting
Okay.
their roster into place and getting into the right lineups. But to answer your question, it's going to be close. So they play two of their last 3 games tomorrow, Tuesday versus Golden State, and then Sunday versus New Orleans. 2 teams immediately surrounding them in the play-in picture.
Exactly.
Golden State in 10th, New Orleans currently in 7th, right? So, and they're a game and a half behind New Orleans. That game Sunday could be to determine at the least who's in the 7-8 versus who's in the 9-10. Phoenix, who's in the 6th spot, has a rough schedule remaining. They've got 2 games versus the Clippers, who are above them in the standings. They've got a game against Sacramento, who, although we kind of wrote off last week, they're still in the mix as well, trying to stay in the 8th seed. And then they close against Minnesota. So it's possible, but the Lakers are going to have to win out to have a chance to get out of the play-in. For me, them getting into the 7th, 8th spot is almost as dangerous as them getting out of the play-in. If they're in that 9-10 versus the Warriors, I think all bets are off. I do think they could go home in one game. If they're in that 7-8 and they're playing the Kings or the Pelicans, that's a different type of pressure on a team that doesn't have the winning pedigree that a LeBron James does. And so if they make it into the 8th, I see them winning that first playing game. I really do.
Okay. That is facts. And one thing I did want to mention with the trends that we're seeing is that the teams that are falling, it seems to be with injuries, right? So the Pelicans, Brandon Ingram is out. The Kings, although not a significant, well, no, he's a 6th man of the year candidate, Malik Monk. So I would say it's definitely a significant injury as well, losing him.
And
So
Herder with that.
and
So
Herder with the
their
was
2
his shoulder?
guards
It
is
was
out.
a
It's a
shoulder,
shoulder.
right?
Shoulder.
Shoulder with Herder. So, injuries are playing a role into this. And unfortunately for those 2 teams, they're catching it at the worst time of the year.
Mhm.
So I will say that we can't fault them for that. At the end of the day, it's not like they're playing is bringing them there. They're also struggling with injury as well. But nonetheless, it's still going to be something that we have to really keep an eye on. Now, Lou, I do want to get your take on this. Given that the Suns have the hardest remaining schedule and the ups and downs that they've had this season with not only their health, their lineup, but just winning and closing out in the second half of games. They'll start games wonderfully. It's just the second half, things happen.
And potentially a toupee that Devin Booker gets every 3 weeks. But
I can neither confirm or deny that is him on that video.
I respect consistent hate. I just want to say that.
Oh man, that is hilarious. That is hilarious, man. Just let us know, man. Reveal, expose. Let us know who that is, man. Don't tease us. If you're a betting man, with the teams that they have left remaining, and the teams that are playing are actually going to be competing for the end of the season because they're competing for seeding, they're competing for home court advantage in the playoffs. So it's not like they're facing teams that just have time to chill and rest their players, right? If you're a Lakers, how much are you willing to bet on the execution of the Phoenix Suns? Because as Ev alluded to, given the positioning, right? So they're a game and a half behind. So if you're the Lakers, are you really betting on Phoenix to not come through the fall so you can get a leg up? Is that gonna be your linchpin?
so it's tough, right? Because they're playing the Clippers twice, but they very well could split that those 2 games. Yes, Clippers, we've seen, unfortunately, there's some opportunity. I mean, there's some times where, we expect the Clippers to really capitalize and really get that win, but also then they turn around and you're like, who is this team? So, Phoenix is very well within possibility of just really not making too much of a move, if I'm going to be completely honest. So I don't think that the Lakers can really bank on Phoenix dropping for them to make that ascension up. And who knows, man? The Lakers might decide, hey, we're good being where we are right now. We like the matchup that we have. Yes, obviously you would rather play 1 game instead of 2 for the play-in, but I think where we are right now, and Evan made a good point, is like they're gonna have to win now at minimum for them to be even in striking distance to get out of playing 2 games or even thinking about getting out of a playing situation. But their fate isn't in their hands. There's some injury back and forth, there's some issue, but I don't see that, Phoenix dropping significantly enough where the Lakers can now then come out of that 9th seed position. Maybe we see them go into being the 8th, but more than likely, I believe the Lakers will finish out the season as a 9th seed.
It's tough. What I will say before we move on to another angle of this is I do want to take a moment and pause and take another lump and give the Pod Mamba his credit, acknowledge his conspiracy theories, because we did say it, and man of my word, I will go ahead and say it and put it out there.
Hey,
that
agreed.
Some people seem to miraculously heal and come on the roster when they play against the Lakers, and I am bearing witness to that. On
Hey, man.
On another fantasy, I had RJ Barrett, the Maple Mamba, had him sitting out on injured for weeks. Understandably, the death of his brother, like I said, understood. Matter of fact, I said take the whole rest of the season off. At the end of the day, the Raptors are not playing for anything. They're eliminated. Rest up, heal up, be with your family, do what you got to do. But he came back, and his first game back was against the Lakers. And then he proceeds to, what was it, a knee or sore knee, I think it was.
Yep.
that
All of a sudden.
he had a sore knee, from not playing for so long. For not playing for so long. That's why his knees were sore. So he took off the next game. But he did play after that. But I will say, it gives
You're
some
talking about that
credence.
young man that's not even 25, that's a professional. How many games have you run back to back to back to back to back in the summertime on the blacktop? And now your knees hurt?
Listen, man, he's built different. He's built different.
Clearly.
I think
Clearly.
there's an unofficial rule that if you don't play, you can't go out that night. Like, you know, paparazzi is like everywhere in LA. You can't get shot, get pictures. I'm sorry, you can't get pictured, photographed leaving the
I was about
club.
to say,
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
Biggie about
I had to clean that
ask
up.
Biggie about that one.
Yeah, I had to clean it up. You can't get photographed in the club, leaving the club, having yourself a good time if you're a player of stature in street clothes a few hours earlier,
What
So
you
you gotta
mean?
play.
AD does it all the time.
I mean, AD lives there though, you
Ben
know.
Simmons does it all the time.
And Ben Simmons is, he's a mascot for the Australian basketball team.
Relax, man.
But I'm not going to. I got you, Pop Mama. I'm not going to allow us to put that slander on Anthony Davis for this season. 74 of 79 games played this year. Uh, Probably
Shout out to him,
his.
man.
Get this. Yes.
Shout out to him for real.
He
Shout out
can't
to him,
see
man.
us clapping right now, literally and figuratively. Get better with the eyes, sir.
If he's
But
oh my god.
but
Right.
74
You said he's been
79
getting hit in the
games.
eye regularly, so we want his eye to be
He
better.
has, man. He has. Poor eye,
He needs
man.
more
That thing's gonna
brow
come out.
protection. That unibrow ain't protected much, man.
Look, bro.
I was-
Yeah,
I
turn
was-
to a
I was
Cyclops,
gonna
man.
move
Horace
on.
Grant. Horace Grant could teach him a little something, man. Take a page out of Horace.
Hey, he could, real talk. He could market the goggles like with the unibrow, with the
Yeah.
goggles,
Branding
with the
deal.
Kareem throwback. He's in LA. He might need to hit us up. We might have opened up a lucrative stream for him.
Hello.
He
Oakley,
might be too
hello.
much of a pretty boy, though. He might be too much of a pretty boy to do
That
it.
nigga ugly.
He thinks he's a pretty boy, though. So, I don't think
I am all
Seen his man
praise
teeth?
for the Los Angeles Lakers today. Okay, so I'm not going to allow us to do this Lakers slander.
So hold up, you're predicting that they're gonna make it out the plane, correct though?
Of course, yes, they're gonna
They're gonna be the
make it
6. What are you
out.
talking about?
They,
Wow.
it's possible.
They're gonna win out,
here's-
and the other guys and other teams are gonna lose 2 games at least.
But
2 out
that's
of
the
4.
problem. Like, you're betting because at the end of the day, right? You're facing Memphis, Golden State, and Minnesota. No,
And
not
Memphis
Minnesota.
put-
Memphis,
Orleans.
New Orleans,
Yes.
and Golden State, right?
And
So I
we see
definitely
Memphis
think
pull
you're
out
gonna
a
get
win
Memphis.
against Milwaukee. Like we
Right,
see them
but-
pull out that win against Milwaukee.
Well,
You're right.
In Milwaukee.
Brandon Clark already came out for injury for a year to come play the Lakers. Who else is gonna be next? Is it gonna be John Moran all of a sudden? You gonna come out,
But,
play that
hey,
one game?
Hey,
Call
They
12,
lo-
baby.
they'd love
Hey,
nothing more
y'all
than
playing
to beat
playing in
y'all
Memphis at
in
that.
Memphis, right? They would love nothing more than to just put a small damper on y'all season to end
Whoop
their
that
season.
tree.
But because
Right.
Evan said it, remember, Evan said you
Listen.
guys are gonna win out.
Listen, I'm doing my best. I'm doing
If the
my
Lakers
best.
don't win out, I'll be sorely disappointed if they don't win out these last 3 games. They're very winnable games. Very winnable.
Very winnable. Really?
Very winnable.
Okay.
I mean, two
Wow.
of the three are playoff games, basically.
Yeah.
That Warriors one is going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the
Two of
And
the
they gotta
hottest,
treat that New-
two of the
they gotta
hottest
treat
teams in
that
the
New
West.
Orleans game like a playoff game.
New
Minnesota,
Orleans game.
Yeah, are they gonna have BI? Is BI gonna come back from injury all of a sudden?
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
It-
Maybe.
because
It's
look,
the Lakers.
we're acknowledging the fact that you've put forth a hypothesis, and the data has shown, right, that they do come back to play the Lakers, man. Heavy is the head. Heavy is the head. Everybody want to be in Hollywood, like Evan said, man. You
wish
get
I was-
caught out
I sh-
hanging
I-
out
I wish
in
I
the
was still.
club.
I wish I was still in grade school so I could make this my science project. I'd definitely get an A.
I will.
for,
I
for the
will
science
make one
for the
other-
science fair.
Yeah, for the science fair, I won first place.
I will
I
make one other
mean-
Lakers observation. Looking at it, they benefit from their national TV schedule from the standpoint of they play a lot of difficult games at the beginning of the season because they're on marquee games all the time the first half of the season. You look at their run, and you could argue that they haven't had an impressive win since February when they beat the Clippers. The Milwaukee one, understood. Yeah, that OT game was huge at the time, but look what Milwaukee's been the past 3 weeks. Outside of that, I mean, let's go through the month.
Can we finally agree that Doc Rivers is a horrible coach?
I don't think we disagreed.
I don't think we
on this
disagreed.
Oh, I'm not talking
platform.
about you guys. I'm talking about the people listening, like the general audience,
Uh,
the general
Yeah,
basketball
listen,
world.
I think he's
I mean,
overrated. I think he's overrated. I don't think he's as trash as some of my counterparts here say he is, but I think he's overrated and lauded more than he is. I think what Doc does great is the people managing side of things. That's what Doc is awesome and exceptional at. Um, giving speeches, galvanizing people, et cetera, et cetera. But there's more of that to coaching. And I think there's some work that, needs to be done, which has me a little worried. Chris Middleton got his tooth knocked out. So there's that.
He needs new
You
teeth,
know.
anyways.
whoa.
Hey yo,
Listen.
Wow, this is what the end of the season brings out of people, man. Jeez. I was gonna say one thing, but I guess it doesn't matter because this is what we're doing. But the team that I think is gonna slide is gonna be the Pelicans. Because I think other than Phoenix, the Pelicans have the Lakers, Golden State, Sacramento. I feel like that's the team to bank on to fall, because Brandon Ingram, if he does come back before the season ends, we don't know what shape he's going to be in, recalibrating him and everything like that. So what I'm saying, Christian, is don't look for Phoenix to fall. Look for the Pelicans. I think that's the team that's going to falter if they do fall. But you guys need to be worried about Golden State and the Pelicans. I think you'll win on Memphis. I think you'll win
Memphis. You think they win?
Unless Ja comes out.
Call 12.
Unless Ja comes out. All right. Speaking of the Lakers, let's talk about their potential next draft pick. Yes, the potential next Laker. Chris, you should be happy. You should be celebrating right now. You should be celebrating. Bronny James.
Nepotism. Nepotism.
Zach Edey? Hey, we need a center. God damn it,
Nepotism
we need
at
a
its
center.
finest.
We need a center, god damn it.
Nepotism at its
man.
finest,
The
baby.
dynasty continues.
Listen, man, you got the star coming. The star coming to
Why? Wait, is he now the prince?
Oh, hey. I don't know. He hasn't been given a nickname yet, so
That's because
we'll
he's not
see.
good enough.
Wow.
Listen, the
Let's be
day
real.
after he gets drafted, the night he gets drafted, the Prince memes, etc., will be unleashed.
Oh, they're already
Will
out
be
there.
unleashed.
They are so already out there. But Bronny James has declared to the NBA draft. But clear this up for me, guys. He also went to the transfer portal, right? So did he go into the transfer portal before he declared?
Yes.
So
Why?
he wasn't going back to USC, regardless.
Look, I'm gonna let you set us up because
Anybody, yeah. So this is a legit
thoughts.
question. So he wasn't going back to USC regardless. He got into the transfer portal. So I'm guessing while in the transfer portal, he just made the decision, hey, let me go ahead and declare for the draft, right? My question to you guys is, let's say, which I don't know if it happens, let's say he's not drafted. Can he still go back in the transfer portal and figure it out? Or how does that go?
First of all, impossible. I'm about to say,
Lou's been sitting on this topic for months. So
I've been vibing,
Cook,
but
Lou,
first of all,
cook.
impossible he doesn't get drafted. If he's getting drafted, it's not even a question, right? But if he does, let's say he doesn't get drafted, he can go back to NCAA and play. I think it's something to the effect that like he needs to have it. Like if he has an agent, he can't go back.
He
But yeah,
can't go through the draft process.
yes, he can't.
I mean, he
Yeah,
can go through the draft process, but he can't go through the draft. Like once
exactly.
draft
Okay.
night
He has
comes, if
to,
his name is in it, his
He can work
career
out for
he's done.
is
teams.
over.
He can work
Yeah,
out
he
for
can
teams.
work out, but he cannot actually formally
Okay.
go through the process. So it was like,
Okay.
yeah, even if it was like, oh, okay, yeah, like you put your name up, but you example of it is Leangelo, right? Leangelo couldn't go back. You know what I mean? And Leangelo was, I mean, he just wasn't as good as his brothers. He just was an NBA caliber player. But he could never go back to being, college once he went through the process. That's him going overseas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, no, Bronny's getting drafted for one, without question. It's just a matter of who is going to draft him. And
So
the one thing in terms of how he did it though was he put his name out there to gauge interest of NBA teams for him as a player, and he sees himself. He says he believes, or rather, and then teams confirmed they believe that he is an NBA level defender. So he was very specific about what type of player. So not even just an NBA level caliber player. I have an NBA level of defensive ability. What does that even mean, bro? Like, what does that mean? Like, what does look? LeBron is ready to sunset all of this. He said, "Look, Bronny, if you want a chance to play with your pops, let's go. You know a team is gonna pick you up because they know that we're a package deal. So it's gonna happen. But if Bronny can't, what's it called? Can't score in USC, where else do you think he's gonna go and be a scorer for real? He wasn't gonna go to another top tier team. He can't go to USC and think that, he's gonna now be a 20-10 guy. That's not happening, even if he were to transfer. So his best bet is going into the league. Father retires, he'll bounce around, and then he'll end up in Europe. Yeah.
Wow, you sent him off to Europe
That man in Europe.
Europe.
Already.
Bro, come on, man.
So
Wow, he went to Europe.
I have a lot of thoughts as well. And I don't want to leave out Pop Mom because that's his account also. So he'll probably have thoughts as well on it. But here's my thing. From the college standpoint, I don't think he could go to another school, in part for what Lou said. He was at USC, averaged 5 points a game. Even when they had injuries, the times he did get inserted into the starting lineup, or at least got more minutes, his volume didn't go up. Now that team overall was a mess. Even their high players that they had, I think all their top freshman players slipped in their draft stock during their season at USC. Their coach ends up leaving. So those reasons, in addition to Bronny's play, are reasons why he would be transferring from USC. Anywho, so I'll give him that. Starting off behind the curve with the heart condition that missed, he missed the summer because of that and whatnot.
Mhm.
So those are realistic factors. Like Lou said, though, any top teams, right? Your Dukes, your Carolinas, your et cetera, UConns, they all have their incoming players for the next season, right? Bronny's not taking any one of those players' places because even if this season was terrible, right? Even if he's much better than he showcased this season, that's still a risk and potential unknown that a major program that is already in the 11th hour of their recruiting work, and especially with, the key players in the transfer portal and whatnot, now that they already have their eyes set on, I just don't see a landing place for Bronny James at a school at the caliber that he would be at. He's not going to a Weber State or Murray State or anything like that, right?
Ohio State?
Potentially.
Listen, UCLA needs some players. I can tell you that right now. UCLA needs some.
He's not going across town to UCLA.
No, he's not.
Please?
Well, let me not say he's not. Let me not
Please
say
come to
he's
UCLA.
not. But I don't see it. And what's unfortunate about the college landscape is that it shouldn't be scorned that Bronny James came back for a second year or third year to develop. But the nature of men's college basketball right now creates it to where he can't come back
Yep.
because he can't he can't allow himself to be put in that scarlet letter category of I have to play a second year in college because I'm not good enough to go.
Yeah.
Right. So because of that, he has to go to the draft. Now,
Yeah.
in the draft, he's getting drafted. All right.
Yeah.
He's getting drafted. And he could get drafted by a team in the low first round because this draft isn't a great
It's not a
draft.
strong draft.
Right. So who's drafting at near the end of the first round? Your teams that are already in playoff contention are maybe one piece away.
The
Right.
Knicks.
And listen, the Knicks, we'll have a low first round pick, and we have by nature of a trade, we got a high second round pick. I'm not saying we're in the market to do so, but a team like the Knicks, a team like Philly with plenty of cap space, right, could make that gamble of a play and say, hey, LeBron, we got your son. What you want to do? And so that potential is out there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
man. I think
Go
the
ahead,
Knicks, the Lakers go for it, bro. I think the Lakers say, you know what? Let's double down, go for it, and then LeBron goes out with a bang. I don't see any true team with, yes, maybe some teams with some true playoff aspirations, or rather some true, like, real contenders, i.e., Philadelphia. Do I see them going for somebody like Bronny just so they can get Bron? I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it for them at this point.
But it could be I see it as a leverage play. Not even Braun. It's like, what do you want for his son? What do you want to give me for his son? So I could see a team doing that. So if I want a D'Lo, if I want an AR, or if I want a piece that the Lakers have that would fit well, I have your son. So you're kidnapping, basically.
I'm about
You're
to say, I wanted to say you're playing chess and not checkers, but in essence, you are.
Yeah, you're kidnapping his son.
Sounds like
and
taking
saying
something.
it is taken. It's taken NBA style.
I have a certain set of skills.
It's like you have a
set of skills.
You have a player on your team with a particular set of skills.
Then
I knew.
Let me ask y'all a question. Though. Let me ask you a question from the Lakers standpoint, right? I mean, the Lakers are as much as a show as they are basketball. Basketball.
They're more of a show. But go ahead.
Okay,
I'll answer this for you, Evan.
I got you. Okay, answer me this: Who would be more valuable to the Lakers next season? I understand I'm about to say somebody that has a 1-year contract, but
I can't wait to hear this.
Bronny James or Cam Reddish?
Bronny James.
So honestly, what are we even talking about right now? The way the Lakers strategy has been the last 4 years, what they've surrounded LeBron James with, they're absolutely taking Bronny James. It's probably already done.
So let me take it from this standpoint, okay? When you're any team that's going to draft Bronny James, they're drafting a player that's going to be a project. He won't be ready for another 2 years, maybe. But we can say is that Bronny does have glimpses of NBA defense. He's a very good defender.
Yeah,
His offensive game might need some tweaking, but he's fast, he's explosive. So any player like that can be used as a project. You can stash away a two-way player, send him to the G League. You come play some two-way, yeah.
Two-way
contract. Score.
Two-way
contract.
Two-way contract. Yeah.
Okay. So
relax, Hans. Relax.
It just sounds like you're describing somebody who plays in Turkey.
Anyways,
you think first of all, Bronny's not going to the G League so long that LeBron is in the NBA.
Why not? But anyways, putting that aside, I think this is all a big grift by LeBron. Anyways, I think the only reason why he said that he would like to play with Bronny in the same team, and then backtracked it because he did backtrack it and say, "Oh well, maybe just play on the same court as him." I think he's just saying all these things so he could finagle a team to draft his son. A huge Nepo
Yeah,
draft.
absolutely. So yeah, again, I said it earlier, bro. Straight Nepo. Straight Nepo. Straight Nepo. I don't think either of his sons actually are going to be truly NBA caliber players.
Bryce is better than Bronny. You don't think so?
Bryce don't even
Well,
start.
we gotta see Bryce this next year. So
I know
In terms of
Bryce's
size,
passion and
he
commitment
he's
has
a
been
question.
questioned.
But his stature, physically, he looks like it. But
I haven't been keeping up to see what he's been doing this.
no,
past season in high
Bronny
school.
has the mentality, right? In terms of like, okay, I'm a basketball player. You know what I mean? He just wish he was as physically gifted, you know what I mean, as his brother. Because I think that would change our perception of Bronny. But you know what I mean? Just to talk about being I'm an NBA level defender for the type of NBA that we're in right now, where defense isn't really the primary focus anyway, doesn't say a lot.
And here's another aspect of it. Next year's draft class is loaded. The year after that is very strong as well.
You want to stay away from that.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to have to go up against Carlos Boozer's twins?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Exactly. So this is the year with the lack of any name recognition in the draft, right?
That you should slide in.
Exactly. This is the year you should slide in and get drafted off a name
And get your
alone.
money. Okay.
Exactly.
No, that's facts.
Exactly.
That's facts. For me, I see the leverage pull. To Christian's credit, it's not above LeBron to have this whole kerfuffle just to make sure and cement that his son makes it to the league, as any father should, right? If I had a kid and I have an opportunity to get him to the heights of the profession, which is the NBA, I'll do whatever I need to do to get him there. So
Unless you're Michael Jordan.
Well, Michael Jordan is different.
Marcus averaged 21 points in college. I still feel like he could have at least been serviceable.
Jordan said, "You're not gonna come in here in this league and make
with that last name."
He could have given him a roster on the Hornets.
Listen.
Or the Bobcats. The Bobcats back then.
The Bobcats at the time. It's different. Michael's built a little different.
Marcus Jordan and Gerald Wallace on the same team could have done work.
First of all, he was nowhere near as good as Gerald.
That team set a record for losing, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't say it was good works.
So Gerald Wallace, Steven Jackson.
They set a record for losing.
Some type of work. Some type of work.
Well, facts.
Yeah, they got work. They were fully employed.
Clock in, clock out.
They were fully employed, gainfully employed. That's what happened. Nah,
yeah, man.
Michael Jordan is different, man.
Bronny don't want to have to come into a draft class with Cayenne, bro. Yeah, you don't want to have to go against that young Anthony. You know
let me tell you something. Cayenne will cook Bronny for fun. All right,
bro. He talked crazy about his own pops. He's definitely cooking Bronny.
He's built like his dad.
Exactly. My bad. He's built like Melo.
Cayenne to show the drop 50 on Bronny, right?
He
is definitely here to see me. Okay.
Yeah. Like, look, D-Wag, Bronny not better than D-Wag Jr. He's not better than DJ Wagner. Like, come on, bro.
He's better than Scottie Pippen Jr.
We'll see. Scotty's in the league, and he didn't need his dad to do it.
I said he just got dunked on. He's in the league.
Kenyon Martin, Unch, you are something else, bro.
He just got dunked on. Just sounds like
he's still
there.
I had the same thought. I just didn't say it, but that was my.
He's still there.
We seen him too. Yeah, he just got moved on a couple weeks ago.
Is D Wade son in the league?
Nah.
No.
Who?
D Wade's son.
No, but which one?
Don't know.
The Hall of Fame shooting guard. Okay?
No, but what's the oldest son's name? That's who we were talking about, right? Is it Zaire?
Yeah, Zaire.
Yeah.
Did he even go to college? He didn't even go to college, right? He went to. Did he go to like the G League or something like that? Ignite.
Wasn't it overseas?
Let's talk about K Martin's kids.
He got lost. He got lost overseas. Just stayed over there.
Yeah, I think it was overseas. He signed with a team.
Hey, look, man. We know where Bronny going there. Yeah, you go.
Nah, LeBron
Him and
is gonna
Bronny,
let that happen.
him and Bronny will make they'll repeat the picture of their pops.
Like I said, the way the Lakers have been giving out contracts, right? I meant that. Cam Reddish came to my mind because he was
Because of J. Cole's this?
he has defense. Listen, man, I apologize, okay, for anything negative that I said about you. All right, in the past couple of weeks, I felt sick since I said what I said, Lou.
That's why we beat y'all. That's why we beat y'all.
Oh, listen, I'm glad we got to 2 out of our last 4 games. All right, we'll talk about. We may talk about the Knicks in the next segment. We'll see. They are on my list. You know how I like to pick one, and then I come with 2 or 3. Just let me go last.
We already know.
Absolutely.
Hans is.
Wow.
I love Hans. Hans is like this bad child. Follow directions.
I was that one. If I bring 3 pieces of candy, you'll let me get 2, right? That was me.
This guy.
For us,
right,
it would have been like, you have 3 pieces, good. 1 for each of you.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. As foreshadowed before, guys, we are sad. I'm sad. It's the end of the season. We're at the last week before the play-in. So with this last week upon us, what teams do you guys have on your radar that you're looking to show you something? I'll start with you, my brother Lou. In this last week, we got 3-4 games left. Which team are you looking at to show you something in this last week, man?
So when you asking now, you just talking about just in general, or some of these lower tier teams?
In general, it doesn't even have to be playing. It could be because there's a lot of teams that still need to show something, right?
Yeah.
We just referenced Doc. The Milwaukee Bucks are definitely up there as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to rattle off every team, but
Yeah. So I'll say specifically, I'll start with the West. I think we all can say, safe to say that, the top 3 teams are going to be teams that we're going to be watching closely, between Minnesota, Denver, and OKC. How things shake out. OKC was just number 1 out there, number 3 as we're recording right now. But the wind can blow left, and that whole order changes. So, I mean, honestly, the top 5 teams in the West, because then having the Clips in Dallas. I'm going specifically somewhere. That's why I'm referencing Dallas last, because it's going to allude to another team I'm looking at in the East. But what we've seen and what Dallas is doing, Dallas can really slip in and mess around and have home court advantage coming into the playoffs. So that is something I didn't have on my bingo card. I did not have that on my bingo card. You know what I mean? And I'm watching. Yeah. I didn't have that on my bingo card. I'm going to give respect to my dear brother who talked this talk about it. You know what I mean? And shout out to him. It's no cold pizza in this man's fridge. All right, man. That take is still hot as ever. So I didn't expect that, but honestly, Dallas is looking to put themselves in a position to really, potentially have home court advantage playing against. And I mean, if it stays the same and they just swap places with the Clippers, that 4-5 matchup with the Clips. The other team that I'm looking at on the East, now I'm like, wow, okay, they went from hot team to like, they not really mean. Now they really back here. It was Orlando. So quietly, man, seeing Orlando really jump up. Now, I did not expect them to be a 3 seed, but I mean, understanding the injuries and stuff that have happened, looking at the Knicks, looking at the Sixers, and so on. Them really slipping into 3 and making this late surge right now, being right there behind the Bucks, and we're seeing what the Bucks are doing. It is not without the realm of possibility that Orlando could mess around and end up being a 2 seed, which again, something that was not on my bingo card at all. I mean, their last game of the season, they're going to be playing. I mean, they played 2 more games with the Bucks, but one of them being their last game of the season. So I think that's going to be a very important key matchup to watch to see, who shakes out as being number 2 and 3. Because hey, look, based on your standings, right? Like, okay, being number 2, do I want to play Philly if it stays being Philly. I mean, or do you know what I mean? Like, or do I want to play the Pacers? I would love to see a Pacers Magic matchup in the playoffs for real. Two young teams being led by two young soldiers, and I think. Well, I think that you wouldn't want to see them play each other.
I'm skipping that series.
Snooze
I'm not
fest.
skipping it, but it's not like, oh man, let me get some wings, some lemon pepper, and then get my teriyaki, and let me sit down and watch this Pacers or Atlanta. No,
I mean, for me, it's like seeing two sides of the same coin. So
I'm not gonna yuck your yum, man. I'm not gonna
crazy
yuck.
offense versus
you
crazy
like what
defense.
you like.
Yeah, look, I'm not knocking it. Yeah, because we know, Indiana plays no defense, but offense is crazy, and the opposite for Orlando. So that for me, seeing them led by Halliburton and Banchero, I would just a fan of the sport, it'd be interesting to just see that series. But bottom line of like the two teams I'm really watching to see, kind of what they do, because I didn't necessarily expect one of them being the Dallas Mavericks, shout out to Evan, and then the other one being the Orlando Magic, who just slipped into being a top 4 team, potentially top 2. So we'll see.
I feel like a Pacers Orlando matchup is a disservice to the league. All right, Ev, what are you looking for?
We just might as well just not even have them in the playoffs, right? Just move them out of here.
I guess what I'm saying is if you have that matchup, then what you're having two high-profile teams go against each other on the other end of the spectrum. That's what's going to happen.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
You see what I did?
Okay,
right?
I see
what it out because that's going to leave the 76ers to face somebody that's pretty tough, and it's gonna cause parity, but parity also brings drama, right? So you know what, Lou, you could be right. That could be a matchup we want to see because it causes another matchup.
Hey, we'll see. Entertainment, man. Look, seeing the Bucks and Sixers first round.
That'd be wild. That would be wild. Highly contested, because who knows what version of the Bucks we're gonna get.
Come on.
I just want to say, I'm sitting there laughing. And here's the reason why I'm laughing, okay? I'm laughing because y'all pick on me for taking one thing and naming, a bunch of other things. My good brother Lou just named 8.5 teams right now that he's excited to see. I don't even know where to go from here.
Wait. If you understood, see, this is like
no,
creative writing. I started somewhere, and if my last statement ended with the two teams that mattered.
My boy drove down the standings.
Yeah, I drilled down to the left.
I'm excited about these 5 teams in the West, but specifically one. And I'm excited about this specifically one because they remind me of a team on the East that I'm also watching because they have a chance of playing another team unless these other 2 teams match up. I'm up to 9 teams, Lou.
He's excited about the league, man.
This is one of the ones. You know what? Now, you're supposed to just be like, you know what, yo, I'm gonna just let him cook. All right. This is his 1 to my 10. Okay.
You're right.
This is my 1 to your 10.
From the master.
I love it.
I walked you through the narrative. Okay.
You did. And while I joke,
while I gave you props at that,
it was masterfully done. All right.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. That was envy coming out of me. Okay. That was envy coming out. So one thing, first off, Magic Pacers. All right. Shout out to 1994. Okay. When the Magic were
Reggie Miller
41
yes,
and 41. Yes,
sir.
Okay. Shaq and Penny looking for going to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they get put out by Rick Smits and Reggie Miller. All right. Listen. Let's taking it back to the glory years. The Magic have been waiting for their payback. Okay. So let it happen if it is to come to be. But that's not on my list. The West, well, first of all, everything Lou said is on my list. The West, I mean, the wide open in this. I'm about to do the same thing I just picked on you for, Lou.
I'm waiting for it to come. He's gonna go down the list.
I'm waiting for it, bro. I'm waiting for it.
Because let me say, shout out to Minnesota for, Cat getting hurt. We recorded 3 weeks ago. They were three seed, and it looked like they were falling off. And the crew holding on, still number one
Props,
as of today.
100% props.
Absolutely, showing tremendous what's the word I'm looking for? Resilience.
Resilience.
There we go. Tremendous resiliency. I'm over in the East, though, okay? Y'all know I'm over in the East. And of course, I got two reasons why I'm over in the East. So I'll start off with reason one, okay? And, I had to wear this shirt today because it's for my boy Joel.
I was waiting for it.
All right, listen. JoJo's back, okay? JoJo's back, all right? 24, 29, 30 points in his first 3 games back from injury. He sat out one of them, still Sixers 4-0 since he's been back. With Joel Embiid back in the fold, there's no telling what this team can do. Now, I understand it's not likely they'll beat the Celtics. But if they get the Bucks, okay,
It's possible.
sorry to this man. All right.
Possible.
And listen. Hans, KP's my boy. All right. Porzingis, shout out to him.
No, you love KP, man. He was in New York first.
But if they get the Celtics, don't sleep on JoJo in the first round. That's all I'm saying. All right. That's all I'm saying.
Okay?
Not ideal.
Not I want them to get the Celtics.
I don't know if they beating the Celtics is gonna be tough, bro.
It's gonna be tough. But I'm telling you this, they don't want to see the Sixers in the first round. That's not.
They don't.
They didn't win. They didn't win 60-something games to get Philadelphia in the first round.
Exactly.
I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you though, bro. You know what? For me, when it comes to the Sixers, everybody, what you're getting with everybody except Tobias Harris.
But when you got Maxey that could put up 52 in a game.
Yes.
I mean, but Tobias looks his best when JoJo's out there. He looks like a completely different player. Kelly Oubre has been strong.
Yeah, he just needs to. Tobias has to show up, man.
And then Buddy has had little flashes too. So
I think Buddy's getting integrated.
Here's what I'm saying. Like, I know you're saying like they could definitely beat the Bucks, right? That's a big probability. But to me, like, it's just a little less for the Celtics. Like, I think they can definitely beat the Celtics too, just because we've seen the Celtics falter when they play top tier teams. Now, I know Lou is definitely questioning Tobias, but also what I've seen from Tobias is that when it comes in the playoffs, sometimes he'll slack off offensively, but sometimes he makes up for it defensively. So if he gives you that kind of Tobias to where, okay, maybe he's not knocking down buckets offensively, but he's helping lock down a Tatum or limit a Brown. You get what I'm saying? I think that would be enough.
Okay.
Yeah. Make him go left. That'll be enough to allow Maxey, Embiid, maybe even Buddy coming off the bench to give you a little bit. You get what I mean? Like, I honestly don't think that it's a clear-cut win for the Celtics or the Bucks if they fix the 76ers. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ev. Just because
you're good.
Embiid is like, he's not looking hobbled. Does that make sense? He's definitely not 100%, but he's also not like limping around the court like we've seen before when he's had these nagging injuries.
They managed this injury well. They like, all right, we're gonna bring you back when we absolutely need you back. Because honestly, if he was out any longer, it'd be tough for them. It would have been tough. Yeah, I think if he was out, we don't know if they win those last 4 games. They might split those last 4 games. Now they might be in danger of being a play-in team type of situation.
So that's what I was looking to see. I think they lost the season series against the Pacers. They're a game behind the Pacers, but they would need to win a game more than them to jump them in the standings. Tough. The Pacers' schedule isn't as hard, but the Sixers have Detroit, Orlando, and Brooklyn left. So, I mean, 3, very, very winnable games. I don't even lump Orlando in a very, but, you get what I'm saying. There's a chance they can win those last three games. The Pacers have Toronto, Cleveland, and Atlanta. So the Sixers still have a chance at the 6th seed. So that even that is potential that they could jump and get out of the play-in as well. But if they are to play in, 7, 8. I can see them getting that 7th seed playing the Bucks or whoever ends up in that second slot, because that goes to the team that I really want to talk about. And of course, that is my New York Knicks. Of course, I'm paying attention to what the standings look like, the games that we have left. Come on and keep falling, Bucks. I'm happy that the Bucks and the Magic play 2 of these last 3 games. You saw what we did to them last night, a couple nights ago. By the time y'all hear this, we've got 2 games left against the Bulls. We let y'all get one, Lou, because y'all are fighting for playoff as well. But I feel pretty strongly that we'll get these last 2 against you. And then we've got the Celtics. So we gotta. Hey, listen. This is the time of year where we gotta show them what we're about. I say all that to say the race for 2 through 4. You can say 2 through 5. I like the way Cleveland's falling though, but it's still wide open right there in the East. So I'm curious to see how's that going to shake out. Honestly, as the Knicks, it doesn't even matter to us where we land. I'd like to be at least 4th, so that we can maintain that home court advantage. But whether we're in the 4-5, 3-6, or even in that 2-7, I mean, the way this season has gone for us, we've got a superhero in Jalen Brunson. If OG's healthy, listen, I like our chances. I like our chances. Don't ask me what that means by I like our chances. Just I like our chances. I heard this put somewhere else, and I felt bad agreeing to it, but it also gave me a little bit of comfort at the same time. Who have Hans can answer this question. Who have I been the most frustrated with the past 2 seasons in the playoffs as a Knicks fan? On our team.
On your team?
On our team.
Randall?
You got it. You got it.
It's been Randall.
So yes, I hate that I'm not gonna have Randall in the playoffs, but at the same time, the frustration that I've gone with him, where his shooting percentage drops to 34% or lower in the playoffs, and the lackadaisical defense in the playoffs, is it addition by subtraction and I have it? I don't know, but I'm okay to go in it, knowing that I have to go in it like that anyway. I'm okay to go in it and see where the cards land. So
here's my only thing that I'm afraid for you guys, right? Let's say, I don't know, because it's not out of the realm of possibility. Things shake out, you guys move up. You know what I mean? And again, not out of the realm of possibility based on the schedule. The Heat move up. And you end up having to play the Heat first round.
Let me tell you something, man. All right. The Heat don't want none of this, okay? We want the Miami Heat. All right.
Here we go.
Listen, all right.
I think it's a different Knick team though. It's a different Knick team. The Heat, and we do this every year. We dot them and et cetera, and they come and show us. But I don't think the Knicks fear anybody, just like the Heat don't fear anybody.
I would love to see that series.
I think that would be a great throwback series to when they were fighting on the court. That'd be great. But guys, we gotta wrap up. We gotta wrap up. If we have an OT, I know we recorded an OT, but if we want to add to it, we can. But we gotta wrap up per the pod mom. But I want to wrap up with this interesting fact to my boy Ev. Did you know that the 76ers first started in New York? And also, did you know that the Celtics were named after a New York team that went undefeated? So the Celtics name and team was inspired by New York. Just wanted to leave that there with you.
So basically, all of their banners are ours, the Celtics and
100%. That's where I wanted you to take that. All
that's
right,
what
guys.
That's what you gathered.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it as always. If you want some additional content, slide over to our YouTube page, 3on3 Podcast, and check out our overtime segment. Peace, love. We'll see you guys next time.
What's up, guys, and thanks for listening. I want you to do two things for me right now. One, give this episode a thumbs up, and two, be sure to subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on all the socials at the 3on3 Podcast and send us an email at the 3on3podcast@gmail.com. We appreciate you, and tune in next week.